Today we'll be telling the story of St. Nicholas, whose feast is celebrated on December 6th. Not a whole lot is known about St. Nicholas's early life, but tradition holds that St. Nicholas was born on March 15th in the year 270 in the port city of Patara in Turkey. His parents were wealthy Greek Christians, probably named Epiphanius and Joanna. St. Nicholas's uncle was the bishop of the city of Myra, and seeing that his nephew wanted to join the priesthood, ordained him. St. Nicholas decided to go on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, and while traveling, his ship encountered a terrible storm. St. Nicholas rebuked the waves and the storm subsided, which is why St. Nicholas is the patron saint of sailors. When he returned from the Holy Land, he didn't really have a plan, but decided to go to the local church to pray. He didn't know that the bishop of the city had recently died, and all the priests had decided that the next priest to walk into the city would be the new bishop, and that was Nicholas. He served as the bishop of Myra for many years, and was even imprisoned for being a Christian during the persecutions under Diocletian, but was released when the Emperor Constantine took over. During his time as bishop, St. Nicholas became well known for helping the poor, children, and women. There are many stories and legends associated with St. Nicholas, and as a result, he is the patron saint of a lot of different things. St. Nicholas is the patron saint of children, sailors, fishermen, broadcasters, brewers, pharmacists, and archers. Now it's time for our story. Bishop Nicholas sat alone. It was late, and the city of Myra was quiet outside the walls of the church. His heart was heavy. He had spent the day ministering to the people of the city, and everyone had the same problem. There was a food shortage, a famine was plaguing the country, and everyone was hungry and afraid. Seeing the people of his community like this was unbearable. He wished there was something he could do. But what? Other men with better connections than his own tried unsuccessfully to get grain ships to the dock in Myra. They were always told the same thing. There wasn't enough to go around, and no one was willing to come to the port city. Nicholas looked up at the crucifix above the altar and then knelt down in prayer. Jesus, he prayed, please help the people of my city. Please send us a boat of grain. No one has been able to get a merchant ship to come to the city. Please help us. Hundreds of miles away, an Italian merchant was sleeping peacefully in his bed when suddenly he had the most amazing dream. The man dreamt that he was on the deck of his ship. The waves were splashing and birds were calling. It was a beautiful day on the ocean. The man was sailing to deliver his load of grain to North Africa. He took a deep breath of the salty sea air and smiled at the glittering sea. But when he turned around, he was no longer alone. Standing there on the deck of the ship beside him was a Catholic bishop. The bishop smiled at him and said, "Hello, friend. God has allowed me to come and ask you a favor. The people in my city are starving, but no one will come and bring us grain. Please take this ship of yours to the city of Myra, and God will repay your obedience handsomely. The people there are ready to buy all your grain, and as a token of faith, please take these 3 gold coins as an advanced payment." And with that, the bishop pulled 3 gold coins out of his cloak and pressed them into the merchant's hand. The merchant looked down at the gold coins, and when he looked up again, the bishop had disappeared. Early the next morning, sunlight streamed into the merchant's bedroom, waking him up. He remembered the strange dream right away. What an unusual dream, he thought. It almost felt real. He was about to shrug off the whole thing when he realized he was clutching something in his hand. Looking down, he saw he was holding 3 gold coins. The merchant's eyes grew wide as saucers. How could this be? How could the coins from his dream be in his hand? He quickly got out of bed and got dressed. He didn't know who that bishop was, but this was clearly a sign from God that he must take his ship to the city of Myra. He prepared his crew and set sail for Myra the very next day. The people of Myra had grown hopeless. Day after day, they grew hungrier and hungrier, yet no ships came with food. The people had stopped watching the horizon for ships, convinced no one would ever come. Bishop Nicholas was walking down the street when he heard shouting coming from the ports. "A ship! "A ship is coming!" the voice cried. People from all over the city began running to see the approaching ship. Could it be, they thought? Had someone finally brought food? The large ship docked, and the Italian merchant was warmly welcomed by the people. He unloaded all the grain his ship had been carrying, enough to save the whole city from starvation, and told the people of his amazing dream. "Why, that sounds like our wonderful Bishop Nicholas," the people cried. "God has heard his prayers and saved us." The story of St. Nicholas reminds us that very often God answers our prayers with help from our fellow man. St. Nicholas, pray for us.